Okay, so we are reading Ikigai. We are on chapter 7. I think it is 7. Yeah, chapter 7, page number 127 and page number 79 on the PDF.
15 natural antioxidants.
Shivangla, you have to put your mic up.
15 natural antioxidants found in the Okinawan diet. Antioxidants are molecules that slow the oxidation process in cells, neutralizing the free radicals that cause damage and accelerate aging. The antioxidant power of green tea, for example, is well known and will be discussed later at greater length.
So what are free radicals? Free radicals are basically free electrons which are circulating around the system. Now, when you see a molecule or an atom, you have the neutron and proton in the center, and you have these the electrons floating around them. Now, at times, what happens is the atoms, they lose these electrons, and when they lose these electrons, they become free radicals. So when you are putting in an antioxidant into the system, the antioxidant binds or attracts those electrons and gets it back into their own circuit, thereby removing the free radicals from the system. Okay, so that's why antioxidants are very, very important in our consumption because they reduce the toxicity in our system. We have this system called HHO, hydrogen, oxygen, where the water molecule is actually being split into hydrogen, and oxygen. And when you breathe that hydrogen, the free hydrogen atom, the free hydrogen molecule, it binds with the other free radicals and it causes detoxification. So we had done a lot of work with hydrogen, but the challenge with that became that people had to come to the center to take the hydrogen, and the tenacity of the people was not there. This is something which has become very, very popular in Japan now, where people actually go to hydrogen bars and they constantly have hydrogen. So people actually pay to go to these bars. There are many bars which are there in Japan. Now, there was a lot of hullabaloo about ozone some time back, where people were being, put into pressurized chambers and forced ozone was being put. But they found that over oxidation also creates problems. So that's why he's saying over here, slows down the oxidation process. Now, if there is too much of oxygen also, it creates a problem. So that's why now Japan has actually shifted into hydrogen.
Because they are rich in antioxidants and are eaten nearly every day in the region, these 15 foods are considered keys to Okinawan vitality. Tofu, miso, tuna, carrots, goya, bitter melon, kombu, sea kelp, cabbage, nori, seaweed, onion, soy sprouts, hechima, cucumber-like gourd, soybeans, boiled or raw, sweet potato, peppers, sanpin cha, jasmine tea. Sanpin cha, the reigning infusion in Okinawa. Okinawans drink more sanpin cha, a mix of green tea and jasmine flowers, than any other kind of tea. The closest approximation in the West would be that jasmine tea that usually comes from China. A 1988 study conducted by Hiroku Sho at the Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology indicates that jasmine tea reduces blood cholesterol levels. Sanpin cha can be found in many different forms in Okinawa and is even available in vending machines. In addition to all the antioxidant benefits of green tea, it boasts the benefits of jasmine, which include reducing the risk of heart attack, strengthening the immune system, helping relieve stress, and lowering cholesterol. Okinawans drink an average of 3 cups of sanpin cha every day. It might be hard to find exactly the same blend in the West, but we can drink jasmine tea or even a high-quality green tea instead.
So normally tea is fermented. Black tea is fermented. So it becomes oxidative. It is not, it doesn't remain antioxidant. Whereas jasmine tea or green tea, the green tea leaves are not fermented. They're just dried. So that's why the antioxidative properties remain in the green tea.
The secrets of green tea. Green tea has been credited for centuries with significant medicinal properties. Recent studies have confirmed its many benefits and have attested to the importance of this ancient plant in the longevity of those who drink it often. Originally from China, where it has been consumed for millennia, green tea didn't make its way to the rest of the world until just a few centuries ago. Unlike other teas, and as a result of being air-dried without fermentation, it retains its active elements even after being dried and crumbled. It offers meaningful health benefits such as controlling cholesterol, lowering blood sugar levels, improving circulation, protection against the flu, vitamin C, promoting bone health, fluoride, protection against certain bacterial infections, protection against UV damage, and cleansing and diuretic effects. White tea, with its high concentration of polyphenols, may be even more effective against aging. In fact, it is considered to be the natural product with the greatest antioxidant power in the world, to the extent that 1 cup of white tea might pack the same punch as about a dozen glasses of orange juice. In summary, drinking green or white tea every day can help us reduce the free radicals in our bodies, keeping us young longer.
So white tea is basically when tea is plucked, it is two leaves and a bud. So the white tea is very, very, uh, I mean, it's very, very fragile buds and two leaves which are cut, and it has to be processed very, very carefully. That's why it becomes very, very expensive.
The powerful Shikuwasa. Shikuwasa is the citrus fruit par excellence of Okinawa and Ojimi in its largest producer in all of Japan. The fruit is extremely acidic. It is impossible to drink Shikuwasa juice without diluting it first with water. Its taste is somewhere between that of a lime and a mandarin orange, to which it bears a family resemblance.
So again, the basic idea of detoxification is to lower the pH of the body. Now, how does a acidic fruit become alkaline when it goes into the body? It's because of the calcium content. Okay, calcium is alkalizing. So if you see lime is actually acidic if you test it with litmus paper, but once you consume it, then the calcium in the lime becomes active, which becomes alkalizing.
Shikuwasas also contain high levels of nobiletin, a flavonoid rich in antioxidants. All citrus fruits, grapefruits, oranges, lemons are high in nobiletin, but Okinawa Shikuwasas have 40 times as much as oranges. Consuming nobiletin has been proven to protect us from artery sclerosis, cancer, type 2 diabetes, and obesity in general.
So again, flavonoids are chemicals which are used or the building blocks to make more chemicals.
Shikuwasas also contain vitamin C's and B1, beta carotene, and minerals. These are used in many traditional dishes, add to flavor to food, and are squeezed to make juice. While conducting research at the birthday parties of the town's grandparents, we were served Shikuwasa cake. The antioxidant canon for Westerners. In 2010, the UK's Daily Mirror published a list of foods recommended by experts to combat aging. Among these foods readily available in the West are Vegetables such as broccoli and chard for their high concentration of water, minerals and fiber. Oily fish such as salmon, mackerel, tuna and sardines for all the oxidants in their fat. Fruits such as citrus, strawberries and apricots. They are an excellent source of vitamins and help eliminate toxins from the body. Berries such as blueberries and goji berries, they are rich in phytochemical antioxidants. Dried fruits which contain vitamins and antioxidants and give you energy. Grains such as oats and wheat, which give you energy and contain minerals. Olive oil for its antioxidant effects that show in your skin. Red wine in moderation for its antioxidant and vasodilatory properties. Foods that should be eliminated are refined sugar and grains, processed baked goods, and prepared foods, along with cow's milk and all its derivatives. Following this diet will help you feel younger and slow the process of premature aging.
So minerals become very important. There, in the life system, we have something called something about 37 or trace minerals are there. Of course, there are more of them. But these trace minerals actually act like catalysts. That means if those minerals are missing, the reaction will not take place. So the trace minerals become very, very important. I was reading this book called Secrets of the Soil, and we are basically connected through our birth. Wherever we are born, we are connected to the mineral content in that zone. So that's why the food which is related to our birthplace or our lineage becomes very important for us, because we like to have those particular mineral, the combination of those minerals in our system. In fact, it's said in the Secrets of the Soil, the book, that it would be a good idea to crush the rocks from the locality where you were born and have a spoonful, maybe or a quarter a spoonful of those crushed rocks, just to get the mineral content into your system. Of course, because of practices of use of fertilizer and pesticides, the earth itself is getting contaminated. So we may be eating the food, but the mineral content in the food has definitely gone down. That's why the entire process of organic farming and all that is where you're wanting to rejuvenate the land, so that the minerals that are required for us start coming back into the system. And that is why organic farmed food is more expensive than the normally the use of fertilizer and the other pesticides, etc., farmed foods and vegetables, etc. Okay, so now we're moving to chapter 8.
Gentle movements, longer life. Exercises from the East that promote health and longevity. Studies from the blue zone suggest that people who live longest are not the ones who do the most exercise, but rather the ones who move the most.
So, okay, so the blue zone, basically they've named blue zones, the zones where they have a lot of people who are living to a very, very mature age. And over here it says it's not the, a lot of exercise which is important. It's the gentle movement which is important. We were hunter gatherers. So for hunter gathering, you had to forage, you had to go and look for your food. You had to pluck the berries, moving from one tree to the other. You had to dig for the roots to be able to consume them. So the natural way of exercise is actually gentle movement throughout the day.
When we visited Ojimi, the village of longevity, we discovered that even people over 80 and 90 years old are still highly active. They don't stay at home looking out the window or reading the newspaper. Ojimi's residents walk a lot, do karaoke with their neighbors, get up early in the morning, and as soon as they have had breakfast, or even before, head outside to weed their gardens. They don't go to the gym or exercise intensely, but they almost never stop moving in the course of their daily routines.
So we read earlier that in that area there's no the metro system or the train system is also not active. So it automatically promotes movement.
As easy as getting out of your chair. Metabolism slows down 90% after 30 minutes of sitting. The enzymes that move the bad fat from your arteries to your muscles, where it can get burned off, slow down. And after 2 hours, good cholesterol drops 20%. Just getting up for 5 minutes is going to get things going again. These things are so simple, they're almost stupid, says Gavin Bradley in a 2015 interview with Bridget Schultz for the Washington Post. Bradley is one of the preeminent experts on the subject and the director of an international organization dedicated to building awareness of how detrimental sitting all the time can be to our health.
So one of the things which are going around in America is now to have your desk on a higher surface and you actually don't sit on your chair while you're using your computer. You actually stand around and you're constantly moving around while you're using your computer. So in the Monroe Institute, there are a lot of people who started doing that, and it was pretty funny. I mean, of course, it has its health benefits, but year before last year when I went, I suddenly found that everyone has got the computers on a high desk and they are walking around. Ultimately, they last year when I went, some of them changed back into the desk, but a lot of them were still on the tables using the computer on top.
If we live in a city, we might find it hard to move in natural and healthy ways every day. But we can turn to exercises that have proven for centuries to be good for the body. The Eastern disciplines for bringing body, mind, and soul into balance have become quite popular in the West. But in their countries of origin, they have been used for ages to promote health. Yoga, originally from India, though very popular in Japan and China's Qigong and Tai Chi, among other disciplines, seek to create harmony between a person's body and mind so they can face the world with strength, joy, and serenity.
So again, slow movement. If you see yoga, it's not very fast movement. If we've done some Tai Chi sessions in awareness recently, and if you saw the movements, they're all very gentle and very slow movements. They're not very, very fast movements.
They are touted as elixir of youth, and science has endorsed the claim. These gentle exercises offer extraordinary health benefits and are particularly appropriate for older individuals who have a harder time staying fit. Tai Chi
Okay.
has been
So,
shown.
so these exercises, because they're so gentle and there's just movement, you can practice them till you are very, very old. You don't, it's not strenuous on the system, technically speaking.
Tai Chi has been shown, among other things, to slow the development of osteoporosis and Parkinson's disease, to increase circulation, and to improve muscle tone and flexibility. Its emotional benefits are just as important. It is a great shield against stress and depression.
So when we are doing yoga or when we are doing Tai Chi or Qigong for that matter, there has to be a connection between the mind and the body because you're paying attention to the movement of the body. So there's a conjunction which starts to take place between mind and body. And there have been experiments which have been done. Let's say they've attached some sensors to the tip of your finger and you're told to focus on the tip of your finger. They found that the blood going to the finger starts to increase, number one. Number two, the temperature also starts to change. The oxygen level also starts to change the moment you are paying attention. So in these exercises, you are meant to pay attention to the movement that you are doing, which is very gentle and deliberate and very, very slow. So because of that, it starts to really make the entire body function much better.
You don't need to go to the gym for an hour every day or run marathons, as Japanese centenarians show us. All you need is to add movement to your day. Practicing any of these Eastern disciplines on a regular basis is a great way to do so. An added benefit is that they all have well-defined steps, and as we saw in Chapter 4, disciplines with clear rules are good for flow. If you don't like any of these disciplines, feel free to choose a practice that you love and that makes you move.
So again, when we have clear goals set, when we know what we are doing and we trust the process, then automatically we get into the flow. When we get into the flow, then things automatically start to happen and effortlessness starts to create into your system. So you get less tired, you're happier, you're more content, and overall life becomes better.
In the following pages, we take a look at some of the practices that promote health and longevity. But first, a little appetizer, a singularly Japanese exercise for starting your day. Radio Taiso. This morning warm-up has been around since before World War II. The radio, part of its name, is from when the instructions for each exercise were transmitted over the radio. But today people usually do these movements while tuned to a television channel or internet video demonstrating the steps.
So again, it was named because it was transmitted, the name got put radio.
One of the main purposes of doing Radio Taiso is to promote a spirit of unity among participants. The exercises are always done in groups, usually in schools before the start of classes and in businesses before the workday begins.
So this is the system, even when we were in school in St. Paul's, every morning we used to have PT, physical training. And basically there were similar movements that we are going to see over here, moving your hands, stretching your body. So that was not very, very strenuous, but it was just gentle movements which were done together. The whole school used to do it together. And that naturally creates a feeling of bonding. So when we are doing it in companies, etc., also, it creates a feeling of bonding.
One of the main purposes of doing Radio Taiso is to promote a spirit of unity among participants. The exercises are always done in groups, usually in schools before the start of classes and in businesses before the workday begins. Statistics show that 30% of Japanese practice Radio Taiso for a few minutes every morning, but Radio Taiso is one thing that almost everyone we interviewed in Ojimi had in common. Even the residents of the nursing home we visited dedicated at least 5 minutes every day to it, though some did the exercises from their wheelchairs. We joined them on their daily practice and we felt refreshed for the rest of the day. When these exercises are done in a group, it is usually on a sports field or in a large reception hall and typically involves some kind of loudspeaker. The exercises take 5 or 10 minutes, depending on whether you do all or only some of them. They focus on dynamic stretching and increasing joint mobility. One of the most iconic Radio Taiso exercises consists of simply raising your arms above your head and then bringing them down in a circular motion. It is a tool to wake up the body, an easy mobility workout that is low in intensity and that focuses on exercising as many joints as possible. It might seem basic, but in our modern lives, we can spend days without raising our arms above our ears. Think about it. Our arms are down when using computers, when using smartphones, when reading books. One of the few times we raise our hands over our heads is when reaching for something in a cupboard or closet, while our ancestors were raising their hands over their heads all the time when gathering things from trees. Radio Taiso helps us to practice all the basic movements of the body.
So these are the basic movements which are there. We could try it also. If you're keeping your hands in front, you're raising them and then bringing them down in a circular manner. So these are very similar to the Tai Chi exercises that we did. So again, the first one is raising the hand. The second one is bending the knee, taking your hands and pulling them out. Then again, you can see the drawings. And basically it's a repetition of all these movements.
Yoga. Popular in Japan as well as in the West, yoga can be done by almost anyone. Some of its poses have even been adapted for pregnant women and practitioners with physical disabilities. Yoga comes from India, where it was developed millennia ago to unite our mental and physical elements. The word yoga itself comes from the Sanskrit term for yoke, which refers to the crosspiece that binds draft animals to another and to the cart they're pulling. Yoga strives to unite body and mind in the same way, guiding us towards a healthy lifestyle in harmony with the world around us. The main objectives of yoga are to bring us closer to our human nature, mental and physical purification, to bring us closer to the divine.
So again, it's a matter of oneness. We are all tied, and the animal is moving. You're tied to the kuti, right? And the more you have to become aware that you're tied to the kuti, and you are one. So yoga automatically, when it's bridging the gap between the mind and the body, automatically it creates a system of oneness within us.
Styles of yoga. Though all are oriented towards similar goals, there are many different types of yoga that vary according to the traditions and texts from which they were developed. The differences among them lie, as the masters say, in the path taken to the summit of our best self. Gyan Yoga, the yoga of wisdom, the search for discipline and mental growth. Karma Yoga focuses on action, on tasks and duties that benefit oneself and one's community. Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of devotion and surrender to the divine.
So these are the first three are the yogas that Gita talks about.
Mantra Yoga focuses on the recitation of mantras to reach a state of relaxation.
So every mantra has its own frequency. We've been seeing it, and with an access check, we can actually check whether a mantra is working for you or not, and it is having the desired effect or not. Okay, so that becomes pretty interesting with mantras.
Kundalini Yoga combines diverse steps to reach the desired mental state.
So again, rising of the Kundalini is a big thing, because they feel that when the Kundalini rises, then you tap into the power that is existing within all of us, which we generally don't have access to. But once the Kundalini rises, then we have access to that power.
Raj Yoga, also known as the royal path, encompasses a range of steps geared towards achieving communion with oneself and others.
So again, leading to oneness.
Hatha Yoga, the most widespread form in the West and Japan, characterized by asanas or poses combined in a quest for balance.
So Hatha Yoga is basically what yoga is all about in the West. They don't really know about the other 4 or 5 kinds of yoga which are there.
How to do a sun salutation. The sun salutation is one of the most iconic exercises in Hatha Yoga. To do it, you simply have to follow these 12 basic movements. With your feet together, stand up straight, but keep your muscles relaxed. Exhale. Place the palms of your hand together in front of your chest. From this position, inhale as you raise your arms above your head and bend backwards slightly. 3. Exhale as you bend forward until you touch the ground with the palms of your hand, without bending your knees. 4. Stretch one leg back to touch the floor with the tips of your toes. Inhale. 5. Bring the other leg back. keeping your legs and arms straight as you hold your breath. 6. As you exhale, bend your arms and bring your chest to the ground and then forward, resting your knees on the ground. 7. Straighten your arms and bend your spine back, keeping the lower half of your body on the ground. Inhale. 8. With your hands and feet on the ground, lift your hips until your arms and legs are straight and your body forms an upside down V. Exhale throughout the movement. 9. Bring forward the same leg you'd stretched back earlier and bend it so that your knee and foot are aligned under your head and you're between your hands. Inhale. 10. Exhale as you bring your back foot forward and straighten your legs, keeping your hands on the ground as in posture 3. 11. Bring your arms above your head with your palms together and bend backwards slightly, as you did in posture 2, while you inhale. 12. Lower your arms to their initial position in mountain pose while you exhale. You've just greeted the sun. Now you're ready to have a fantastic day.
So again, when most of us know these exercises.
Tai Chi, also known as Tai Chi and Chuan or Tai Chi Chuan. Tai Chi is a Chinese martial art that can be traced back hundreds of years to Buddhism and Confucianism. It is very popular in Japan too. According to Chinese tradition, it was created by the Taoist master and martial art practitioner Zhang Senfeng, though it was Yang Luchan who in the 19th century brought the form to the rest of the world. Tai Chi was originally a nija or internal martial art, meaning its goal was personal growth. Focused on self-defense, it teaches those who practice it to defeat their adversaries by using the least amount of force possible and by relying on agility. Tai Chi, which was also seen as a means of healing body and mind, would go on to be used more frequently to foster health and inner peace. To encourage its citizens to be more active, the Chinese government promoted it as an exercise and it lost its original connection to martial arts, becoming instead a source of health and well-being accessible to all.
So it's all, or most of these exercises, even that South Indian, I don't remember the name of that thing. It all originated as a martial art, but then there were so many health benefits associated with all this that slowly it started, the medical properties also started getting, I mean, people started using it as exercise.
It's called Kalpatru, bhaiya.
Yeah, Kalpatru. Yeah.
Styles of Tai Chi. There are different schools and styles of Tai Chi. The following are the best known. Chen style alternates between slow movements and explosive ones.
I think this was the style that Bruce Lee used to use, but he mixed up a lot of styles actually.
Yang style, the most widespread of the forms, characterized by slow, fluid movements. Wu style utilizes small, slow, deliberate movements. Hao style, centered on internal movements with almost microscopic external movements. One of the least practiced forms of Tai Chi, even in China. Despite their differences, these styles all have the same objectives: to control movement through stillness, to overcome force through finesse, to move second and arrive first, to know yourself and your opponent. The 10 basic principles of Tai Chi. According to the master Yang Cheng Fu, the correct practice of Tai Chi follows 10 basic principles. Number 1, elevate the crown of your head and focus all your energy there. 2, tighten your chest and expand your back to lighten your lower body. 3, Relax your waist and let it guide your body. 4. Learn to differentiate between heaviness and lightness, knowing how your weight is distributed. 5. Relax the shoulders to allow free movement of the arms and promote the flow of energy. 6. Value the agility of the mind over the strength of the body. 7. Unify the upper and lower body so they act in concert. 8. Unify the internal and the external to synchronize mind, body, and breath. 9. Do not break the flow of your movement. Maintain fluidity and harmony. 10. Look for stillness in movement. An active body leads to a calm mind. Imitating clouds. One of the best known movements in Tai Chi consists of following the form of clouds in an exercise called wave hands like clouds. Here are the steps. Extend your arms in front of you with your palms down. 2. Turn your palms to face in as though you were hugging a tree trunk. 3. Open your arms out to the side. 4. Bring the left arm up and center and the right arm down and center. 5. Trace the shape of a ball in front of your body. 6. Turn your left palm towards your face. 7. Shift your weight to your left foot and pivot from your hip towards that side, while your eyes follow the movement of your hand. 8. Bring your left hand to your waist and your right hand in front of your face. 9. Shift your weight to your right foot. 10. Pivot towards your right, looking at your raised hand the entire time. 11. Repeat this movement fluidly, shifting your weight from one foot to the other as you reposition your hands. 12. Stretch your arms out in front of you again and bring them down slowly, returning to your initial position.
Now these exercises are given over here. This was very much like the Tai Chi movement that this thing took us through also.
Yeah, we did this, I think.
We did the same exercise actually.
Yeah, that's right.
Qigong. Also known as Qi Kung, its name combines Qi, life force or energy, and Gong, work, indicating that the form works with the individual's life force. Though relatively modern, especially under its current name, the art of Qigong is based on the Tao Yin, an ancient art meant to foster mental and physical well-being. The practice began to appear in reports on training and martial arts at the beginning of the 20th century, and by the 1930s was being used in hospitals. The Chinese government later popularized it, as it had done with Tai Chi. Qigong involves static and dynamic physical exercises that stimulate respiration in a standing, seated, or reclined position. There are many different styles of Qigong, but all of them seek to strengthen and regenerate Qi. Though its movements are typically gentle, the practice is intense.
Okay, so there's a video of Greg Braden. He's one of the spiritual writers. There's a video, some of you must have seen it also, where there's a tumor and they've actually taken a video of that tumor first and it's on the screen. And they're again doing what do they call that? Sonography, where that tumor is again on another part of the screen. Now the first screen is static, the second screen is actually live. And these Qigong masters are doing get out of that tumor. And on the screen, you can actually see it disappear. Okay. So when you have force of intent and clarity of thought, so what they are saying, you are not there, you're not there, you're not there, you're not there. And actually you see the tumor disappear in front of the screen, in the screen. If we have the time, we'll see if we can see that video. I'll have to look for it. I'll show it to you tomorrow maybe.
Benefits of Qigong. According to numerous international scientific studies, Qigong, like Tai Chi and yoga, offer significant health benefits. The following stand out among those proven through scientific research, as observed by Dr. Kenneth M. Sansier of San Francisco's Qigong Institute in his article, Medical Applications of Qigong. Modification of brain waves, improved balance of sex hormones, lower mortality rate from heart attacks, lower blood pressure in patients with hypertension, greater bone density, better circulation, deceleration of symptoms associated with senility, great balance and efficiency of bodily functions, increased blood flow to the brain and greater mind-body connection, improved cardiac function, reduction in the secondary effects of cancer treatments.
So again, with these deliberate movements, because your mind is focused on that movement, what happens is a lot of changes can start taking place in your body system as well as your mind, because again, focused attention shifts you into a state of no thought ultimately.
Practicing these arts not only keeps us in shape, it also helps extend our lives. Methods for practicing Qigong. In order to practice Qigong correctly, we should remember that our life energy flows through our whole body. We should know how to regulate its many parts. Number 1, Tao Shen. Regulating the body. By adopting the correct posture, it is important to be firmly rooted to the ground.
So again, grounding and balance become very important.
Tiao Shi. Regulating the breath until it is calm, steady and peaceful.
Again, we have seen that the breath affects the heart rate variance. So if the heart rate variance affects the entire body system's functioning. So regulating the breath becomes important. This is the basis of all our pranayama also.
Number 3, Tao Sin. Regulating the mind. The most complicated part, as it implies emptying the mind of thoughts.
So again, our thoughts, whenever we have a thought, the sparking of neurons in the brain, which consume energy. So the more you can be able to regulate it, be aware of your thoughts, the more you can get rid of stuff which is not necessary in your state of consciousness.
4, Tao Chi. Regulating the life force through the regulation of the 3 prior elements so that it flows naturally.
So again, posture, body, the breath, as well as regulating the mind will automatically regulate our life force in our body system.
5, Tao Shen. Regulating the spirit. The spirit is both strength and root in battle, as Yang Bing Ming explains in the essence of Tai Chi Qigong.
Okay, so what does this mean? Making a spiritual connection.
In this way, the whole organism will be prepared to work towards a single goal.
So when all of them are working together, then automatically there are no pulls and pushes in the system. The whole system is working towards a certain goal. So that's why having a laksh, which you believe in and you intellectually know will be beneficial, becomes important, because only then you can have conjunction of your thoughts and your feelings.
The 5 elements of Qigong. One of Qigong's best known exercises is a series representing the 5 elements: earth, water, wood, metal and fire. This series of movements seeks to balance the 5 currents of energy in order to improve brain and organ function.
So
There
this
are several-
exercise was taught to us by Karthike.
There are several ways to do these movements. In this case, we are following the model of Professor Maria Isabel Garcia Monreal from the Qigong Institute in Barcelona. Earth. Number 1. Stand with your legs apart and your feet directly below your shoulders. 2. Turn your feet outwards slightly to strengthen the posture. 3. Keep your shoulders relaxed and down and your arms loose at your sides, slightly away from your body. This is the Wu Chi or rooted posture. 4. As you inhale, raise your arms in front of you until your hands are level with your shoulders, your palms facing down. 5. Exhale as you bend your knees and bring your arms down until your hands are level with your stomach, your palms facing in. 6. Hold this position for a few seconds, focusing on your breath.
Simple exercise, I think we did it.
Water. Starting from earth posture, bend your knees into a squat, keeping your chest upright and exhaling throughout. 2. Press your coccyx downward to stretch your lumbar spine. 3. As you inhale, stand to return to earth posture. 4. 4. Repeat twice for a total of 3. Wood. Starting from earth posture, turn your palm upwards and you open your arms to the sides, forming a circle as you inhale until your hands are level with your clavicle. Turn your hands so that your palms and elbows point downward while keeping your shoulders relaxed. 2. Reverse the movement as you exhale, making a downward circle with your arms until you reach your initial position. 3. Repeat twice for a total of 3.
Pretty simple.
Metal. Starting from the earth posture, raise your arms until your hands are level with your sternum. 2. Turn your palm towards each other about 4 inches apart, with your fingers relaxed and slightly separated, pointing upward. 3. As you inhale, move your hands away from each other until they are shoulder width apart. As you exhale, bring your hands down towards each other until they are back in position 2. 5. Repeat twice for a total of 3, observing the concentration of energy as you bring your hands together in front of your lungs.
Simple exercises.
Fire. 1. Starting from earth posture, bring your hands level with your hearts as you inhale, with one hand slightly above the other and your palms facing each other. 2. Rotate your hands to feel the energy of your heart. 3. Turn from your waist gently to the left, keeping your torso relaxed and your forearms parallel to the ground. With your palms still facing each other, separate your hands, bringing one up until it is level with your shoulder and the other down in front of your abdomen. 5. Turn from your waist gently to the right, keeping your torso relaxed and your forearms parallel to the ground. 6. As you exhale, let your hands come back together in front of your heart. 7. With your palms still facing each other, separate your hands, bringing one up until it is level with your shoulder and the other down in front of your abdomen. Completing the series, starting from the earth posture, inhale as you bring your hands level with your shoulders, palms facing down. 2. As you exhale, lower your arms to rest at your sides, returning to the initial Wu Chi posture. Shiatsu. Created in Japan in the early 20th century, principally for the treatment of arthritis, shiatsu also works on energy flow through the application of pressure with the thumbs and the palms of the hands. In combination with stretching and breathing exercises, it seeks to create equilibrium among the different elements of the body. It is not important that a Tao Yin have a name, is imitating something, or is engraved in jade. What is important is the technique and the essence of what is really practiced. Stretching and contracting, bending and lifting of the head, stepping, lying down, resting or standing, walking or stepping slowly, screaming or breathing, everything can be a Tao Yin. Ji Hong. Breathe better, live longer. The book Zhujian Shishu, known in the West as 10 Books on the Cultivation of Perfection, dates back to the 13th century and is a compendium of materials from diverse sources on developing the mind and body. It quotes, among others, the celebrated Chinese doctor and essayist Sun Simiao, who lived during the 6th century. Sun Simiao was a proponent of a technique called the 6 healing sounds, which involves the coordination of movement, breathing, and pronouncing sounds with the purpose of bringing our souls to the place of calm.
So then making sounds, resonant tuning.
The 6 sounds are Shu, pronounced like sh with a deep sigh, which is associated with the liver. He, pronounced like her, with a yawn, which is associated with the heart. Si, pronounced like sir, with a long, slow exhale, which is associated with the lungs. Chui, pronounced like chui, with a forceful exhale, which is associated with the kidneys. Hu, pronounced like hu, which is associated with the spleen. And zi, pronounced like she, which connects the whole body. The following poem by Sun Simiao offers clues about how to live well according to the season. It reminds us the importance of breathing and suggests that as we breathe, we visualize the organs associated with each of the healing sounds.
So again, using your mind, your breath, as well as your thinking, and your making a sound, it all combines into a very, very beautiful package.
In spring, breathe Zhu for clear eyes, and so wood can aid your liver. In summer, reach for her so that heart and fire can be at peace. In fall, breathe Qi to stabilize and gather metal, keeping the lungs moist. For the kidneys, next, breathe Chui and your inner waters calm. The triple heater needs your Qi to expel all heat and troubles. In all 4 seasons, take deep breaths so that your spleen can process food. And of course, avoid exhaling noisily. Don't let even your own ears hear you. The practice is most excellent and will help preserve your divine elixir. It might feel confusing to be presented with all the Eastern traditions we have introduced in this chapter. The takeaway is that they all combine a physical exercise and an awareness of our breath. These 2 components, movement and breath, help us to bring our consciousness in line with our body instead of allowing our mind to be carried away by the sea of daily worries. Most of the time, we are just not aware of our breathing.
So, okay, so we can stop here today. And again, basically what's it? Being aware of things. That's what it ultimately boils down to. Anyone has anything to say?